So here we are. Yes. So let's move on to our next kind of pronouns, reflexive pronouns. What are reflexive pronouns? Pronouns which refer back to the subject of a sentence are called reflexive pronouns. So, if subject has done something and the subject has done something for itself, then we will use reflexive pronouns to show that. Reflexive pronouns are used when the subject and the object in a sentence are same. So what do I mean by this is, when subject does something for itself, then we will use reflexive pronouns. Now, what are reflexive pronouns? Myself, ourselves, yourself, yourselves, himself, herself, itself, and themselves. These all are reflexive pronouns. Let's have a look at examples. I washed the car by myself. Okay, so the subject is I and it has washed the car by itself. Next, we often motivate ourselves. So, the work of motivation, the action of motivation is being done by the subject only. Now here subject is plural, we, and that's why we have used ourselves. Next, don't touch the electric wire, you will hurt yourself. Here also, the action of hurting is pointing towards the subject. It's reflecting towards the subject itself. Next, Rachit took himself out on a long walk. So, took, this is our verb, and subject is Rachit, so he is taking himself out on a long walk. Sarah baked cake for herself. So the baking of cake is being done for herself only. Next, the book fell from the shelf by itself. So here also, the action is reflecting back to the subject. The book fell. Next, everyone shall take care of their belongings. Here, taking care is action, and everyone should do that for themselves. That's why these all are examples of reflexive pronouns. Now, another kind of pronouns are emphasizing or emphatic pronouns. Now, you may find these similar to reflexive pronouns, but there is some difference between them. Let's understand. What are emphasizing pronouns? Pronouns which are used to show emphasis are called emphasizing pronouns. They are same as reflexive pronouns. Now, there is a trick to find if the pronoun which is used in a sentence is reflexive or emphasizing. And what is that trick? Just remove the pronoun from the sentence. If the sentence still makes sense, the pronoun was emphatic. If it doesn't, it was reflexive. Okay, so what is emphasis? When you want to say something forcefully, when you want to attract the reader's attention, so you want to just emphasize. Okay, so that is when we use emphasizing pronouns. Okay, so the subject and object are same, then we will use reflexive pronouns. And the trick to recognize which one is reflexive and which one is emphasizing, there is just one simple trick, and that is remove the pronoun. Remove them from the sentence. Okay, and if the sentence still makes sense, then the pronoun would be emphatic. The sentence will still make sense. But if you remove that pronoun and it does not make sense, it means there is no object in the sentence. Okay, and it might not make sense. Let's have a look at the examples of emphatic pronoun. I myself am waiting for the next train. So here the emphasis is on I. So I myself am waiting for the next train. If I remove this, I am waiting for the next train, this sentence still makes sense. So this is an emphatic pronoun. Next, we ourselves arrived late at the scene. So here with we I have used ourselves. Okay, since it is a plural pronoun. So here also ourselves is emphasizing on we. Next, you yourself can register for the scholarship. Here, you is being emphasized, means the subject is being emphasized, that you can only do it. Okay, so if I remove this yourself also, then also the sentence will make sense. Next, Arav himself scored the highest number of runs. So here the emphasis is on Arav. And if himself is removed, then also the sentence will make sense. Next, Sonia herself enjoyed the concert very much. Here, emphasis is on Sonia. Look, I have used himself with Arav and herself with Sonia. Why? Because himself is used with masculine gender and herself is used with feminine gender. Next, the weather itself was very bad yesterday. So here, the emphasis is on weather, which is an abstract noun, I think. Okay, itself is here emphasizing on weather, which is an abstract noun or non-living thing. Next, they themselves purchased the book online. So here the emphasis is on they. And if I remove themselves, then also the sentence will make sense. So these pronouns are used just to emphasize on the subject. Okay? Let's move on to the exercise. First, each morning I brush my teeth and stare at dash in the mirror. Each morning I brush my teeth and stare at dash in the mirror. Now, what will come in this blank? I stare at myself. Of course, you also do that. So each morning I brush my teeth and stare at myself in the mirror. Next, Dad and I painted the trailer dash. Now, look, there are two subjects, Dad and I. And when two persons are talking in first person pronoun, what we will use? Yes, ourselves. Dad and I painted the trailer ourselves. Next, the children made holiday decorations by dash. Children made holiday decorations by dash. So here two people are talking and the children are third person. So here we will use themselves because they are more than one. The children made holiday decorations by themselves. Next, Paul copies his friend's homework instead of doing it dash. Paul copies his friend's homework instead of doing it dash. Now here, Paul is also a third person we are talking about, and since it is masculine gender and singular, that's why we will use himself. Paul copies his friend's homework instead of doing it himself. Correct. Next, please make dash at home while you wait. Please make dash at home while you wait. Yes. Please make yourself at home while you wait. Because I am saying this to the person in front of me, so he would be the second person. Next, we enjoyed dash at the party. We enjoyed dash at the party. The correct answer is ourselves. We enjoyed ourselves at the party. Okay? Next, the little boy sat by dash. The little boy sat by dash. It is very simple. Boy, singular, third person. So, himself. The little boy sat by himself. Next, she washes her clothes dash. She washes her clothes dash. Yes, since it is she here, I'll use herself. She washes her clothes herself. Next, he absented dash from the class. He absented dash from the class. Yes, he absented himself from the class because he, and with he we will use himself. Next, the minister dash said this. The minister dash said this. Now it is little bit complicated. The minister himself or herself said this because minister is a common noun. Okay, so the minister himself or herself said this. Okay, so this was it. Let's move on to another kind of pronoun in our next video. See you there.